Hey everyone, welcome to the Costume Jewelry Chronicles with Lynn and Carrie. Each episode we will feature a new vintage costume jewelry designer and talk a little bit about jewelry reselling. We hope you enjoy. Talking cameos today. This one's a little bit longer slideshow because there's so much to know about cameos, and I'm only going to touch the surface with these. So we're going to discuss variations. We're going to do materials and how to tell them apart. And then we have some extras at the end. So cameos are carved relief jewelry pieces, often featuring women, as we all know. Popular from the ancient times through the Victorian period and beyond, like till today. So it's made from various materials, including shell, coral, which I didn't realize, like pink conch and angel skin, and they often get confused. Hardstone is another material, glass, lava, and resin. And then we're going to look at distinct features and settings that help identify the era that they came in. So first we're going to hit variations. And the ancient and classical cameos were typically made from hardstone like agate and onyx. They had strong, noble profiles with straight noses, classical hairstyles with tight curls and laurel wreaths. And they often depicted mythological figures rather than generic women. Georgian era was from 1714 to 1837, and these included ladies with Roman-inspired features and straight noses and rounded chins. The hair often styled in classical updos with curls at the temples. They were deeply carved cameos, often made of hardstone. The settings were ornate, usually in high carat gold with filigree and granulation. Victorian era is probably the ones we see the most, was from 1837 to 1901. More detailed, and they were romanticized female profiles. The hairstyles included curls, ringlets, and decorative elements, sometimes flowers, tiaras. There was more variation in their facial features, some with softer and more elegant noses or elongated noses. Cameos often made from shell, like white on the orange, or lava, which were gray, brown, and beige tones. A lot of times these were gold filled, or they had pinchback, which is a form of brass. They used special proportions of copper and zinc that made it look like gold. And then rolled gold settings were common as well. You'll find mourning brooches during this time frame also. Then we hit the Edwardian period, which was from 1901 to 1910. And these were delicate, finely carved women with elegant, elongated necks. You can see the details in some of these, like how fine her hair is and all the details in her hair here. Just a little more stylish. Their hair often styled with loose waves and intricate updos. And cameos frequently framed in platinum or white gold with filigree detailing. The shell remained popular during this time frame, but some cameos were carved from hardstone or glass. Next is Art Nouveau, which is probably, to me, the easiest era to detect. They're very distinct. It was from 1890 to 1910, and that overlaps the Victorian and the Edwardian period. So these come with natural earthy tones like beige, gray, brown, and terracotta and ochre.
Those are beautiful.
They are, aren't they gorgeous? They're hand carved.
Color relative to the foreground. Is that a transition in the material they're carving on?
Yes, sometimes, like in the newer ones, they actually placed it on top. where these are layers of material, layers of color all in one piece. In the earlier times, you'll find that more than the newer ones.
Look at the one in
So
the
let me
middle.
go
It's
back
like
to
morphing into a bird, like a bird from a
yeah,
cherub to a bird. That's
and from the
crazy,
little
amazing.
cherub, it's got this little elf looking thing here, or a fairy, I guess. And look at the fine details of the moving wings and the moving skirt on this one. This one
Amazing.
has fruit in it. It has grapes, grape leaf.
And is that a mushroom? Does she have a mushroom in there too?
And there's a mushroom too.
That
Yeah.
is so rad. I love it.
They are
Beautiful.
gorgeous. They're more naturalistic, dreamy, ethereal colored or ethereal styles. They had flowing hair, sometimes flowers, leaves, softer facial features. Like look at her face here, it's just softer on all of these. And this one too. The settings were artistic, like this one, often featuring swirling gold work or enamel. Then we have the Art Deco era, which is like opposite because it's more streamlined, modernized, the profiles with geometric aesthetics to them. They had shorter hairstyles and they would have finger waves, bobs, and sometimes hats, like on the left one. They were had sharper features, sometimes with angular noses and chins. And the cameos were often machine carved or molded from glass or synthetic materials. So we're starting to get into more modern time frames, more that we would be able to find. And then we're going to talk a little about materials. So the first one is shell. This is probably the most common one that we find today. Like shell and resin are probably the two most common ones. I shouldn't say that. We do find some stone, but they're more modern stone ones. So the shell was from Victorian to Edwardian time frame, and it's white carving on orange or pink backgrounds. And hardstone is from the ancient Georgian Victorian time frame, and they were made of layered onyx, agate, and sardonyx. So sardonyx is the actual stone over here. It reminds me a lot of agate. I guess it's probably a form of agate, but this is what it ends up looking like. So they pick the certain layers and cut out the certain layers and then do the profile on one layer, and it's all one piece, but it's just carved on the different layers. And then there's lava. Lava was the Victorian Grand Tour era. So these pieces are heavier, they feel solid and cool to the touch. They're soft and porous with a matte finish. They often have small pits, like you'll see the lava rock up here, how it looks in its natural form. It's going to have some of them small pits coming through and natural imperfections from the carving process. The surface may feel slightly rough or chalky and comes in natural earthy tones like gray, beige, brown, ochre, and terracotta. They're hand carved, so the details might be slightly asymmetrical. And they often depict classical or mythological figures, not like your traditional women that we see on most of them. They're heat resistant, so a hot needle pressed against it won't affect it. I guess it's one way you can tell if it's resin or lava, Carrie.
Burn it up.
Yeah, whoops, it was resin.
How do you tell the difference between shell and resin? Sometimes I can't tell.
Yeah, shell's always translucent.
Yeah, we'll get to the details of that in a little bit here.
Okay, thank you.
Glass versus paste. These are really hard to tell the difference between, but paste was done in an earlier time frame. Glass was made with solid glass or layered glass, often using a molding process. It was opaque, transparent, or translucent, and may have two-tone layers, imitating shell or hardstone cameos. It's smooth and even textured and can be molded or carved, as we've seen intaglios, like the one on the right here. It's an intaglio, it was carved out. Some have some have air bubbles inside, but that was common in the older pieces. Paste is a highly leaded glass called strass or flint glass, and it was made to look like gemstones. Paste is a ground glass mixed with lead oxide and melted to form a gemstone-like material. It has a higher sparkle or brilliance compared to plain glass, so it has a high glass finish. It's denser or heavier feeling, and it's used in the high-end Georgian and Victorian jewelry, often foiled on the back to enhance its brilliance. And it's set in golded metal or sterling silver, sometimes with rhinestones, and often seen in mourning jewelry, lockets, and brooches. It was used in the 19th and earliest 20th centuries, so we don't see this anymore. Going back to do a little comparison of materials. So in the Georgian period, they used high carat gold, hand-carved settings, often featuring decorative elements. The Victorian used gold-filled a lot. I find gold-filled cameos a lot. And pinchbeck is a gold-like alloy. And rose gold and silver settings. And Edwardian did more of the whites, like the white gold, platinum, and then they used intricate filigree settings. And Art Deco, they used white gold, silver, platinum, often with geometric designs. And on the facial features, doing the comparisons, the classical noses of the Georgian and the delicate faces of the Edwardian and modernized profiles of the Art Deco. Compared to the hairstyles, Georgian used the updos, the curls and tiaras of the Victorian, the sleek and short styles of the Art Deco, and materials. The shell and lava was mostly in the Victorian period. The hardstone was mostly in Georgian, and synthetic was a lot used in the Art Deco period. And then you look at the settings as well. So the ornate gold was a lot of times in the Georgian. The filigree and white gold was used in the Edwardian, and geometric designs in the Art Deco. And these are pretty much, these are a lot of the styles we see today that we find a lot in jewelry lots and thrift stores. They're from the 1950s to the 70s. Some of the extras that I threw in here was a couple ways to really tell shell. So on the far left here, this bezel that it's set in, when it's a real shell, this bezel is shaped to the shell. So it was made around that piece. That pretty much is going to tell you that it is a real shell piece. The transparency has a thin shell. So when you hold it up to the light, you can see almost the silhouette of the lady, and the light shines through it. And it also has a curved back because it's made out of shell, and shell is not flat. And resin, then you think about the temperature of these pieces. So resin is warm to the touch. Glass is somewhat cold. Shell is cold. Stone is the coldest and doesn't warm up when you hold it in your hand. Do you have any questions, Catherine, on this? That's the best pieces, or best things I can find to describe them.
I just put in the chat, does the shell always have a bezel?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, I don't recall seeing prong. There might be prong set ones, but for the most part, I've only seen bezel ones.
Can you
But
go back to
there
this?
could be.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you go back to
Go
the
ahead.
slide right before this one? So I noticed the two end ones are not faces. So can you call is a cameo a shape with like a filigree setting, like, can you call that's a flower? So it's not necessarily a face, but that is considered a cameo?
That's a very good question, and I guess it is debatable. I would say a cameo because it looks like a cameo to me.
Right.
I don't know what other people think. Let me
Because
know
I've
what
been
you
putting
guys
cameo
think.
style in my listings because wasn't sure if it, because it doesn't have a face. Like I've shapes like that of all different kinds. Like I've got a boat like made out of porcelain with a filigree gold setting and it's oval shape. Can I call that a cameo? I mean, just doesn't feel right to
I
call
mean,
it
well, you look at this one, it's a porcelain rounded cabochon. So, I
right.
mean, technically, I guess it wouldn't be considered cameo. I use it a little more interchangeably, but I might be totally wrong on that. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm open to your opinions on that one.
Okay.
I don't think you're wrong by saying cameo style.
Style. Okay. Okay.
What would you do, Carrie?
I use that word too, but I get snarky people giving me messages about it too. But you
What do
also
they
will get
say?
that's not a cameo. But then again, I
Oh,
also get it. And maybe I just have snarky customers as well. Like if I list a cameo that is not shell, I get that too. Like, well, that's not a real cameo. Yeah, I just ignore it. But just know that you might get a little bit of that. But I mean, I do it too. So
so would you say cameo shape or cameo style?
I just put
It's not
cameo.
really,
I put portrait
yeah, it's not
cameo
really a
usually.
shape.
Okay. Because
So
they're
It's like
yeah.
a
all oval
brooch.
in portrait mode, like in, as opposed to like horizontal. Like if you had a,
Right.
so if it's uh vertical,
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
This one too, right here is mother of pearl. So you can find it in, it's shell, but it's mother of pearl.
Right, right.
So that's another variation.
Thank you.
And uh-huh. And then new versus antique. This one is an obvious new piece. Look at the back being like it's pressed into a mold, so it has all the little grooves of the mold. The pin is a C class. Oh, well, that might be early 1900s. No, this is the new version of a C clasp, and it's made in China. I mean, the pieces are usually made in China when you see this type of a clasp. It has these three little holes and that back bar.
It's like a bended
That
safety pin.
say that again?
It's like a bended safety pin.
Yeah, yeah. And that is a new piece. And then look at the old. This is one of the safety lever latches, they call it, and it has the trombone hinge or the T yeah, no, that ain't right, not
Oh, that's not.
trombone.
Bar.
I totally lost the name of it. Um
That's a tube hinge,
it's
Lynn.
like a
Tube.
tube hinge. Yes, tube hinge. And it's got like handmade framing on it. You can just tell it's hand carved. You can see the little stripes in there, the little grooves from the tool. It's just totally different than
Yeah.
the newer ones. Then we have right facing and left facing and front facing cameos. So right facing is the most common and the standard and most frequently seen orientation, and it's produced in high numbers, likely to due to tradition and ease of carving. So the left-facing cameos are less common and less frequently produced, making them more unusual and sometimes more valuable. Some collectors believe left-facing cameos were custom commissions or special orders. No specific symbolic meaning, but their rarity makes them sought after. I've been seeing a lot more left facing ones, like this one's 70s probably, and you see a lot of this type of thing. So I think when we talk about left facing ones are less common, it's the older versions of these Then we have the forward-facing cameos, which are very rare and extremely uncommon and often associated with higher end or custom-made processes or pieces. So a family would want one. They would hire out somebody to carve a front-facing piece for them. They they indicate a more regal or mythological inspiration, like goddesses, muses, and allegorical figures. Like this guy here. This is a pretty cool piece. I had to include that one. And this one, I mean, it looks like a guy, looks like somebody commissioned that one. I think some of them are pretty neat looking when you go back and look at them. Then we have rhinestone adorned ones, which brands like Trifari, Coro, and Sarah Coventry mass produce these rhinestone adorned cameos. They were popular in they had that was in the 50s and 60s, and then they had a Victorian revival resurgence in the 70s and 80s. So cameos with rhinestones continued to be made at that time frame, often with more ornate romantic styles. They were plastic and resin cameos a lot of times, and that is, well,
And what do you call those? They have a name.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Habli. Called Habli.
That's why I never put it in there because I can never remember it.
Yeah, that's what a cameo with jewelry on.
Say it one more time.
Habli.
Happily? Okay.
Yeah, type it in the chat so we can.
Yeah, could you
so I
spell
can write
that?
it down. All right, so the last thing, I had to tell you this story that I was at the flea market and went by this one guy. I always walk by this one guy's booth and can't afford anything in it, and he's got fabulous jewelry. There's actually two of them. But this one guy is the nicest older guy who knows his stuff. And I just pointed out these cameos, and he said, "Oh, aren't they lovely?" And he pulled them out and he had to show them to me. And he said that they made these brooches or bracelets with all family members' faces on them. And they were commissioned, obviously. And then this, I think, was the father figure on the individual one. And these things are rare, and they were brought back as gifts, I think he said, from Paris. And he went and researched it, and he found this one, and it's in a museum. And I asked him, just out of curiosity, how much he was wanting for the set, and he said $7,000. So I can only imagine this set in the museum is probably worth, I can't even put a number on it. I don't know. But I thought that was a really interesting set that I've seen recently. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Anybody have questions? And there's a lot to know about cameos. This is just a drop in the bucket, and so much to learn. Anybody have any great cameos they want to share?
I have a question.
Or-
I never like purposely seek out cameos because I don't know, like, I haven't researched it enough to know what I can get from or like to be confident about it. Do you seek them out? And if so, like what price points are you looking for? What do you generally see? Anything?
Let me share my screen again. I want to show you the one. Thank you. So this piece on the left here is a locket, and this is what got me started on doing this video, because I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what era it was from. I narrowed it down to what I thought was early, like it wasn't Victorian, I didn't think, because of this face, but it was throwing me off because I didn't think it was pre-1900s, but it ended up being like 1930s, 1940s is more a traditional one. And it's great because on the inside it has the old wallpaper pieces stuck inside of it. So this one, I think I priced it at $49.99 just because it's locket as well. So that gave it a little more value. People really love lockets, and it's gold filled. So there are pieces that I will seek out, but I pass up like let's see, the 1950s, 60s, 70s. If I have them, um, they're usually from a lot or they're old pieces I picked up before.
And with
So
gold filled,
them
do you
I
know
will
by
not
testing
buy.
it, you just know from experience how long it'll take for the acid to fade for you to know it's gold filled? Because that I haven't figured out myself yet.
Yeah, that's what I've determined just recently, it seems like. It's I'm like, I know this piece is gold filled, and if you let the acid sit on there long enough, it gradually will eat through it, and you know it's gold filled.
Like approximately how
I
long?
say like,
Because I'm like,
yeah,
the
I
gold plater
say
would fade even faster
gradually.
then.
Well, like, I think it
Right.
depends on how thick it is because I've let it sit there a minute, and I know it's gold filled because it's starting to fade after a minute. Where gold plated, it'll sit there for 10 seconds, 20 seconds,
Hmm.
and start to fade. But the gold filled seems to linger on, and you're like, is it gold? And you know it's not gold, you know it's
Yeah.
not solid gold,
Some of the
and it
experience to be
gradually
confident.
fades.
And I sit there and I
Yeah,
redo it a few times and I'm like, screw it, it's going up as gold tone.
I still pick up
yeah,
the black glass cameos. They sell pretty good for me at like the $40 range. So if it's a
yeah.
nice, well-made black glass cameo, I'll still get those.
Have a
Yeah, and the
spin.
intaglios.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can I share my screen so you can get
Yes.
so I can get your opinion on this one? It's a let's see. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's on a how do I get rid of this? Go away. Uh it didn't come with that chain, but I put that on there and I thought it was really pretty. It matched. It's a sterling silver setting.
That's nice. Yeah, and it's got a really different face to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
the
it's
face to me
definitely
seems
shell.
It can't be angel skin and shell though, right? That's not a thing.
Well, angel skin is shell.
But I mean like the angel so I've had them angel skin I've had the angel skin coral ones.
That's shell. Well, I mean, it's
They
comes
aren't
from the sea, let's
translucent
put
like
it that way, but it's not
yeah, but
technically, it's coral.
yeah.
But they say you can get them really confused, the angel skin and the coral
I could
ones.
see that.
And I haven't been able to determine how to tell the difference on that. That's why I didn't include it.
Yeah, so how did you
There,
tell the
it's
difference on
very,
that? Because I don't know. I don't know that I would have known that. How did you tell that?
me.
Yeah.
Well, because all the other angel skins were white and pale like that, at least what I saw online. And I went to
okay, but go back and look at conch shell ones and
Hmm.
see if you can see the difference.
isn't it conch? Isn't it pronounced conch?
Conch, I'm sorry,
That's
conch.
okay.
Is that the one we're not supposed to sell though?
Yeah, we can't sell anything Queen Conch at all
Yeah.
on eBay. They will take it down.
Lynn, is my
I have
price, is that what you would price this at?
Since it's sterling, yeah.
Because I had it way
it's a
higher and
nice setting. Yeah, it's a nice
I,
setting with the sterling. I think that's about right.
I thought so too. And that bale is beautiful, that Art
Mm-hmm.
Nouveau-ish. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're more confident than me. I wouldn't be able to list it to that because I can't tell the difference either. I can't. I just put
You've
shell
given
because
me
that
confidence, Carrie. You've sparked
not
a
about
fire in
angel
me.
skin and not about angel skin shell stuff. I have not because I don't
Oh,
have any. I
I
am.
generalized it to everywhere.
I am. I get confused and I don't know, and then I question it. Larry had some too. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, okay, hang on a second.
I don't even know what I have listed for cameos.
Can you guys see my
Mhm.
my cameos here?
Yes.
So we talked about these briefly a couple months ago when we went through my jewelry lot, but now I'm at a point where I'm going to be listing them. And I apologize for the photos. I got to retake them. But this little one here, it says 14 karat gold filled or something to that effect. But this, and again, these photos are bad. But One of them's a pendant, the other one is a brooch.
That looks resin.
Yeah. And this is the gold filled or gold roll or something. And this tells me it's modern, right? Because of this pattern on the back here.
Well, that's the pin is 1950s
Okay.
to me.
I agree.
It's curved. That one looks like shell. Isn't the back kind of curved in? Concave?
Let me check it. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I bet that's shell too. Hold it up to the light, and if you can see through it, I would say
I
that.
can see through both of them. Right, at least I can make out that there's light making it
So
through.
there's a difference. So wouldn't you agree, Lynn? So like even some resin ones, if you hold it up to light, you can see light through it. But once you start
Right.
handling an actual shell one, it's totally different.
Mhm.
Like total transparency,
Yeah, these are
not
not
just seeing light through it.
the smaller one. I get a lot more light through.
Yes. So if I had to guess, I would say that is shell. I agree with that. I agree that that one is shell.
The small one here. Yeah.
Yes, it looks to be shell. It's set, and so like that one is not set. Yeah, see how that the setting? Yeah, I would agree. And it's set in gold filled, which also makes you think maybe it's a little bit higher quality.
Right.
Makes you look at it a little more.
Should I split these up and sell them individually?
Well, let's see the next one. I would sell that one individually, probably, maybe.
It's just really,
Yeah.
really small.
That's okay. Small doesn't always mean worth less money.
Yeah. So the one on the right here is the brooch, and that we believe is resin.
You have
This
a gold
is the-
chain
It's
that
still,
you can put it on.
it's still
Yeah,
really,
I
that
do.
one is
I would put
it's
it
still
on the gold
really
chain.
pretty.
It is really pretty. I agree.
So put
I
this
sell
back.
pendants all the time without chains. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot
That
of
little one, you might.
gold filled or gold plated chains I could put it on. Anyway,
I think it's really pretty. Even that resin one is very pretty.
what kind of prices would you put on these? Assuming I'm doing them separate. $30 a piece or so?
At the most,
At the most, yeah.
Okay. So $24.99 and take offers from
Yeah.
there.
I'm thinking the right one, $24.99.
And maybe $28.99 on the other one.
On the little one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I had some other jewelry I had some questions
go
on,
ahead.
but I'll wait until somebody's got some more
I'll show you what cameo. I don't even know what cameos. Then I'm gonna mute you real quick. Sometimes when I mute you and bring you back, it stops everybody's echo. So I'm gonna mute you and then have you come back. Or you did yourself. See if it'll come back. Sometimes when you just go off and on, it helps.
I have
I
a
don't even
stupid
know.
question about a cameo.
Yeah.
How, when they're carving it out of that shell, why does why does the face turn out white when the background is pink?
Well, if you think of a shell, it's not a solid color. And I thought about this too, because I kept thinking, are they putting layers on there? But they're not. It's all out of one piece. So
Yeah.
they have to particularly cut it out of the shell accordingly. And maybe it's a particular kind of shell. I don't know the exacts on that.
Okay.
Like I
Just
said,
curious.
there's so much to know about these.
I know. It's intimidating.
I feel like cameo buyers, like if you have a good one, are some of the hardest to deal with customers. They're going to pick it apart. They're going to be picky, and that's why I was like, Nicole, be careful. I would make sure that's angel skin.
How do I make sure? Like, I don't know how to test that.
So then if you don't know, we don't call it that.
Ugh. I knew you were
Cameo
gonna say that.
necklace on silver sterling chain. The end.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't ever label it that way because I don't know. I don't know enough. And so that's just an INAD walk-in to happen, because if you get a collector that does know way more than us, they're going to nab you on it.
Lynn, do you know like how I would research or how I would find out if it's angel skin or not?
That's a good project for you, Nicole, to
I
come
don't need
back
more.
and
No,
determine
no, no, no. I don't
conch,
need no more
conch
project.
shell versus angel skin coral. That is a tough one. That's when you have to have so much expertise in them and handle so many and handle the real thing and know it's the real thing to know to
Well,
to
I
know
went
the
down a
next
mini
time when you
rabbit
see it.
hole. It was a mini one, Carrie, not a big one, a mini rabbit hole. And every single comp and research, other listings, every single angel skin cameo was white or like really, really, really light, like pinkish. But they were all light colored. So mine is like really, really, really white.
But there's
So
lots of regular shell ones that are completely translucent white. I've had them lots of times.
ugh.
So if you are confident though in your research that it is one thing and not the other, then label it as such. But if you're not able, so what's going to happen is if you get an INAD on it, are you confident enough? Like if I label it as something, I'm going to be able to stand up to eBay and say, this is my expertise. I am absolutely sure this is what it is, and they are wrong. And you're
Do you
selling
think
to a collector market that knows what they're doing.
I found an article that says the most common misidentification of a Cameos material seen on eBay and similar sites concerns the paler shades of red coral, sometimes referred to as angel skin coral, and queen conch shell. A recent search of eBay listings for items with the terms angel skin coral cameo in the title returned results that were overwhelmingly conch shell cameos or coral cameos in shades befitting only a very sunburned angel. The blurring of the distinction is not new and quite possibly not unintentional. In 1882, the firm Francati and Santa Maria, preeminent purveyors of both raw materials for cameo cutting and gem engraving, with establishments in England, advertised among their wares pink coral shells, meaning the queen conch. True angel skin pieces are not common, and the boundary separating this shade from its more sanguine relatives is highly subjective.
Thanks, Catherine.
1000%. So I
Just
have
when I
yet to
thought I
run
didn't have to tweak old listings.
I have yet to run across one that I was confident enough to call it that. But that doesn't mean you don't know more than me. That is totally possible because I am not a cameo expert by any means.
Okay, I'll revise the
I
list.
haven't I haven't
Revise it, Nicole.
I'm revising right now.
Yeah, I
those
don't know.
cameo people are ruthless. So if you're selling in the collector's market, you just got to know what you're talking about. And when I don't, which is most of the time with cameos, I just call it something generic and let the collectors decide.
What would I say?
Um,
Pale shell, light colored shell,
just call it
white.
shell. They can see the picture, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even like try to refer to anything because the conch, like you say, the conch shell is like forbidden. So if you're going to refer to anything and it makes it sound like it's a conch shell, it's going
Yep.
to be
How
flagged.
about white? How about
How about nothing? How about shell?
How about white?
that's what I said.
And
Okay,
auction
white. Just leave
or
it
fixed price?
white shell.
Fixed. Yeah, I don't do auctions, Larry, unless I don't know like what to value it at, and I'm scared.
Well, and that's my point. If it's one, if an expert looks at it and makes that call,
But how would they find it? How would
I don't know.
how would I come up in search if I'm just a regular cameo pendant necklace? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
How did mine come up in search when I got a Vero for ivory and I didn't list it as ivory?
Oh,
Yep. It's the AI scanning our pictures. Yep, I agree completely. And so like this isn't a real cameo, like this is out of glass probably. But it was neat enough. The chain was really intricate. It was neat enough that I picked it up. It hasn't sold, but it was nice enough. And until we did this call, I didn't even look to see that so apparently I have 40 some listings that have the word cameo in them. 40 exactly. Um, and maybe Lynn would, I don't know, it might just be me too, because this is not an area that I'm confident in, is they're kind of a hard sell if they aren't really good. Like this one I think is really good. I can't get this thing to sell for nothing. and it's really, really pretty. It's not a real cameo, but it's very pretty. But I can't get it to sell. Like, I mean, no matter what sell I put it on, I can't get the dang thing to sell, and it's been there since July. I listed a green one yesterday. Not sure what it is exactly. This one's shell. And this one I've had offers. But it hasn't been listed but a little while, but this one it was a shell one. And she's kind of pretty, and she's got the flower going on, and
I've had
but it's
some
very
cameos sell really fast and other ones that just sit there. And I don't know if I could tell you why.
I price them
Yeah.
high so they're fair. So if they have like so that like her flowers matched her outfit, sometimes if they have a pretty like their nose, sometimes I am 1000% not confident in my cameo abilities. Here's the green one. I have no idea what the heck this thing's made out of, so I slapped $40 on it, and I've had, a little bit of this was just yesterday. I don't know what the hell it is. It's old. It's green.
That's cool.
That's what I
It'll
called
stand
it.
out and scrolling, so it'll sell quick, I think.
Right? I mean, but that's what I called it, right? I didn't, it's never going to probably be over $40. Like, I don't see anything that tells me that in fact, I'll probably sell it for 20 something. Nothing tells me that it's like amazing. So I slapped a price on it, didn't spend a bunch of time on it, and somebody will probably come along and buy it. It'll be fine.
And that green one had prongs.
It did. Yeah.
It was resin, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. But I mean, it is older, right? It's not but it's not special.
Right.
I'll probably take it. If somebody offered me $20 a day, I'll take it. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not making, so am I going to go down a rabbit hole going, now this, and it will sell. I've had people asking about it already. Like, this is one, and
That's
it's probably,
awesome.
probably 900 silver. I found it in the bottom of a junk bag because they said it was trashed. It's not, it's just old. And sometimes that real carved old abalone shell looks sometimes
Is
dirty.
that mother of pearl?
Yeah, whatever the heck it is. Yeah, the mother of pearl. Sometimes it just looks like that. It's old, and the settings are old.
So would those be different members of a family, or is each picture different?
It only looks a little different. I don't think they're meaning it to be totally different. I think it's just because I think it is hand carved. So it's not going to be a perfect. I doubt it's
Looks like all the same.
Yeah, it's trying to be the
maybe.
same, but there's the differences in it is just carving.
Yeah.
Because it's hand.
Yeah.
So yes,
But that is a
looks
great
trash.
piece.
And they said it was junk, and it's not junk. It's just old. And when you flip it over, you can see the settings. That it's actual.
It
So
looks Victorian to me.
I snatched it out of the junk, but I just listed that yesterday, I think, or the day before. So I'm not a cameo expert. Don't claim to be. I'll pick up shell ones when I find it. Also, for those of you that are gold seekers, this has been my biggest jackpots with finding gold. Has been cameos. An old, thick, good cameo lots of time is set in gold, or can be set in gold. So I send them to my gold buyer. Last time I sent them 6 of them, 5 were gold, and they average a couple $100 a piece in gold. So got them just out of regular lots. So before I quit sharing my screen, because I'm sharing, and then we'll go to Larry, I try to pull up. I didn't have any amazing sales this weekend or this week, but this sold instantaneously for this price, full price. So I'm not sure if I was right on my price or if I was low, but it came in that lot I got last week of the Home Shopping Network stuff. So they can have it for $160. I've had this for a long time. I thought it would sell quicker than it did. And what's funny about this is I sold the bracelet to this because, of course, I broke the family up because I wanted all the money. And the bracelet sold on Poshmark the same day to the same person that the necklace sold on eBay. But I had the price lower on Poshmark, so she should have just bought it over there. But I don't even know if she realized we were the same people, but I was the same person. But this was carved lucite, so like I held it up to the light, like you could see through it. It was like transparent, but it felt like cheap plastic. But I knew she had that line, so I knew what it was when I found it. I paid a couple bucks for it, so it looks really cheap. That line, I think, looks cheap. This I've had way too long, but it finally did sell for $83. That old Tibetan sells pretty good.
How do you know it's expensive to bust in pieces versus I see a lot of times like really cheap ones, like cheap beaded ones. That one looks more metal though,
The
but
Tibetan one,
yeah.
the plating usually, because you're
Okay.
right.
Yeah, as I
See how-
asked, I think I answered my question that the beaded ones are cheap, but that one's actually metal, right?
yeah, this is the setting, the plating. It was really well made. It weighs like 5 pounds. Like it's super heavy.
Cool.
But yeah, sometimes when you're bidding on them, you can't tell. That's unfortunately the truth on that.
This
Here's
came
my
in a
bug
lot,
necklace.
or did you buy
Huh?
it individually?
I bought that one in a lot. I really like this bug, and I was hoping it was going to bring more money, but it can go live somewhere else for that for $70 because I just really like this bug. I don't really know why, but I really liked it. It was on an old watch chain. He was really cool. But I'd had him listed since December 1st, and I thought, yeah, it could go. That's what he's worth to me right now. This one was I very rarely find one of these sets in really good condition. So it sold immediately, sold the same day. For
I'm surprised them are still selling.
You know what I think this was? It's because it had the earrings with it, I think. Like you don't always see those
Probably.
earrings. You know what I mean? And they were in really good shape, the earrings were. And then, coming in clutch, my medium flat rate box of crap. They want my crap. This one was actual crap. Like, it's not good.
You got any
But
verdigris stuff in there?
I don't know. That's not my problem anymore. It's crap. If you buy my box of junk, it's junk. It might have green crap on it. It might have brown crap on it. I don't know.
Have a good week. I gotta go outside.
Have fun, Catherine. Cover up.
I have my special hat.
Oh,
You need a fur trapper hat like I have. I have one of those big furry ones that looks like the fur trapper hat.
With the flaps. Yep.
I love them flap ones because it covers your neck.
I know. Keeps it warm.
put your gloves on.
All right.
But I have
So
a
those
lot,
were my
a lot of brooches that I put together, and I'm a little concerned I might have a couple of Julianas in here, Giuliani's, and so I'm
Giuliani's must live in New York.
Can you guys see my picture of brooches here?
Pretty. Yes.
Yeah, those are pretty.
So in particular is this
Butterfly.
butterfly up here, this one in the center are the ones that I
I'm
have
pretty
the
sure
most
the one in the
fun.
center is not, but if you flip over the one on the butterfly, I'll tell you.
And a butterfly almost always is not, Larry. There's only one type, and if there's one small difference, then it's not a Juliana.
Correct.
It's just the color difference from what you see.
It is not.
No,
Right.
This is
So-
not,
No.
no, that bar across the bottom of the pin clasp they never did that. They soldered or
they
raised like
attach
you said,
both.
directly to the piece.
Yeah, they are not an assembly, so to speak, put this soldered on. It's the two pieces are put in, is that correct?
Right, that's just one piece pin
Right.
clasp.
No. Nope.
This is modern. That,
No, that is not a Juliana.
Okay.
So that in that right there in the chat, that is it Juliana?
Yeah.
Is it JulianaJewelry.com? It will be, yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but 99.9% of the time, if it is, it'll be in there.
is what
Or
will
in
be
the
in there?
book.
Or in the book. The pieces will be on that site.
Oh,
It's
I
a
see.
database of the Juliana jewelry.
what do they call this backing?
New.
Isn't there a name for this coating?
New.
China.
Okay.
Cracks me
China.
up.
That's what they call that. China.
Cracks me up.
Very crazy.
This one looked fairly old. It had this nice pastel enamel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, probably 1940s.
I was gonna say 50s, so yeah, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, so this was the older looking pieces that I had. I'm trying not to create children, as you call it, Carrie.
Yeah.
So these are the ones that came out of the box today. So these are the ones that are going together as a lot.
What are you putting for that on a price?
I'm thinking $39.
I would put more.
Higher than that.
I think they're
Okay.
nice.
Well, with the newer, so I probably, if I was just like, you didn't tell me about anything, I'd probably slap $49.99 on it
Mhm.
and take an offer if I got it. That's what I
Okay.
would do.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
I got more to show if you, but
You know what I got? I ordered a whole lot of those lucite rings for $20 off of eBay. Like they're the old stick clear rings, but they have like designs or like they have like 60 psychedelic stuff type in them and everything. And that seems like a silly buy, but you throw a couple of those in a lot, it runs them up.
you mentioned that people are buying the QVC stuff.
Oh, QVC is what am I like? If I could just sell QVC and HSN jewelry, I would. I can't find it cheap enough.
What do
Yeah.
you know about the QVC outlet? Anything?
I've been there in the past. They've closed them all down now except for one
There's
of them,
one
I think.
like close to me. That's why, because we pass it on the way to my son's school. So I just wondered if it was worth it to go in there.
I don't
It's
know. I've never-
changed. It's changed a lot
This one's-
since years ago.
This one's marked 925. I
Better
didn't
test it.
yeah. But by doing that, I'm gonna wear away on this plating.
You know, the plating looks a little sad already.
Yeah, it does.
My gut instinct is it's not silver.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking the same.
And that's why I didn't zoom in on where it said it right here. I think it
It's
said
probably says China.
yeah, it says
China silver.
India on the tag.
And you don't want to sell that one individually then, even if you don't say it's silver in it, because it says India, there you go. Because it'll you can get an INAG, even if you don't say it in the
Because you
listing.
cannot sell something marked that it isn't that.
I see. Okay.
Passing along fakes, they don't like it.
Yeah. I put together all my all the Christmas stuff. This one looks really pretty. This nice faded.
Go back to your other page for a second. The page you're on, yeah. So was that a Christopher Radko? 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth row, second one over. That would be a Christmas brooch, probably. It is a Christopher Radko. Which one is that? Because depending on which one it is, those are good.
That is
Maybe the stocking, is that possible?
it's either the stocking or the candy canes.
I bet it's a stocking because that looks like the Christopher
It's
Radko.
either
What to that? I'd pull that out and sell it separate
it's
if it's in good shape.
what's the maker again?
Christopher Radko.
Do you ever find ornaments with Christopher Radko? Those
They
are
sell well.
Yeah.
Mhm, they do.
Radco.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good maker. What
I
is
gotta
that
admit-
one from the 1, 2, 3, fourth, third row, second from the right? What is that? That's also a Christmas one, I bet. But I wonder what the makers.
Saint Laura Saint.
It's Labre. I don't know how you say it, but
Yes.
sometimes those sell okay too. Just look it up. I'd comp that one before I throw it in a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could just sell if I had some kind of, if I could keep getting enough of it, I would sell HSN jewelry all day long, but I can't find it cheap enough.
Oh, you guys
I like it.
recognize this?
That's Jerry's.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Stay away from Jerry's. And don't you guys ever laugh at people like lead with that on their title?
I used to. And before I knew any better.
Yeah, I mean, I
probably
sell them in lots, but
I probably still some listed with that first in the title.
yeah, well, I'm sure I did too. But
Now I
Cool.
just change it to signed, so they have to go in and look at the listing, and then they fall in love with it and realize, oh, it's Jerry's. Oh, well.
Same. I try to trick them into it.
You know, speaking of things that are
yeah.
Jerry-like, I guess, there are some AJC brooches out there that sell really well on their own, and that was always I always thought it wasn't good, you know, like I always just threw them in a lot with the Jerry's, but there's some good ones out there.
True, but then there also are for some reason Timu decided to knock off a bunch of them too. So
They did.
yeah,
Yes.
you ever seen ones like that? But they're this weird, ugly, pale yellowish, then more than gold color. Those are fake.
I think I have a fake BSK, but I'm not sure. But I put it in the description that, hey, I've never seen one like this, but there are a few listed, but it looks new, it feels cheap. Buy at your own risk. I don't really know. I haven't ever seen a fake BSK before, so maybe it was one of the
Maybe it was
modern, huh?
from the 70s, maybe.
That's why I said
Like
I think
in their,
maybe it was one of their last hurrahs, you know, like last attempts
yeah.
at making jewelry.
Does this get
That's pretty.
anybody's attention or is this just junk?
Pretty.
A junk. You can sell that individual. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a nice enamel piece.
Wrong set rhinestone rivet back.
I'd sell that. I'd clean it up a little and sell it.
And this
You
is
clean?
I clean things. I don't put a lot of time and effort into it, but I
Oh,
clean everything.
this would be a $29 set.
You could
Yeah.
try it
Yeah,
for that. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty.
I'll stop. I could keep going, but I'll stop.
You can always ask us questions, Larry.
I went to a antique and vintage show in West Palm Beach this past weekend.
fun.
And of course, they had tons of jewelry sellers there, but I did see a Grand Paru of Juliana that will
Oh,
knock
wow.
your eyes out. Have you all ever seen one in person? Not just in the book?
I have it in person.
Would you like
Yeah.
to see a picture of one?
Yes.
Yeah, those are always
Did
so
it come home
pretty.
with you?
No, it was $2,000, 25, maybe it was 2,500. And you know what? If it was something that I was dying for, that would have been one thing. But it's so beautiful. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. You all can keep talking. Let's see. I want to share. I got to get somehow. You all go ahead I shouldn't pull up share first until I find the photo part. Sorry.
That.
I need help too at
I
some
think-
point.
Oh, okay.
I need your expertise.
This one sold for about 30. It has a mesh chain on it.
Those mesh chains are pretty hot right now.
Yeah. And then I wanted to show you this one. I think is so pretty. This sold for 50.
That is pretty.
Well, that's pretty.
Yeah.
And see, guys, so see how, like, zoom in on the settings on that. See, like, that to me, like, so she's got the Gibson girl look, right? So that immediately makes me go, oh, you know, but the settings, like, on the glass, she may have been like, what do you call it? Like, maybe it could have been a replacement. I'm not sure. But see how well set those, you can
Bezel.
just tell those beads and stuff are just well set. See from that angle, see how it's raised up. It's just a better quality piece. So don't always
Yeah,
just
that
discount
one.
them because of the ponytail girl, because that's a well set piece.
This one, the guy had a lot on it. And then the next flea market I went to, he had it down to like $8, I think. And it's just an intaglio, but it's just so pretty with like a festoon style necklace on it. And that one sold for probably around 30. So I mean, some of these cameos still do well. This one, the Centurion one, but
So
this
use
is
the word
resin.
Zodiac in those titles, and like they sell fast. Zodiac.
They made this one look like it was real shell or something, but it's
We're
not.
trying.
They're deceiving. The back's flat. But yeah.
You do get really old cameos though sometimes that have like things that look like old clay shoved in it. I don't know what it really is, but it's gross. But I mean, it's like putty, like old putty stuff. I don't know why they did that to nice cameos, but sometimes they do. Really
This
old
is
ones.
another one. This was little. This one was really tiny. It's 1¼ inch. Sold for about it was over 40. But that's a good example of what Larry had. It was about that same size. So it sold for 40. And then all these German ones always sell well with the filigree around them. I'd still pick them up. These courting couple ones, they don't sell very fast, but like this person bought all these German ones and the
Oh, the
courting couple ones.
Limoges.
Yeah, and I would call them cameos. I didn't put it in my title, but I would almost call that a cameo. So
I
I think
used to
it's a
have better
matter
luck
of
with courting
preference.
cameos.
Yeah,
I feel like
not so much anymore.
but they were pretty good. I have a so for one, I just wanted to I thought these were super cool, and maybe I'm totally off, but I've already had some offers on these and I just listed them. So they look like they look like the seals, and they're little Roman
They're
soldiers.
cool.
And they're really old and they are screwbacks, but I thought I would shoot high and see what happened because they're pretty unique. They're super heavy. And they're that robin's egg blue. So I'm just gonna shoot high and see how that works. But let's see. So this is stuff I've been listing today. So I saw this in a junk lot. Why would I have picked that up? You guys know what that is without looking? I just
Because
like
it has
looks
the
like-
baguette style rhinestones, and that usually
it
doesn't
screamed mazer at me. And I paid $10 for the whole lot. And I thought, what's worst that can happen is I'm wrong. It's got age coloring, but it's age wear, right? And it's not missing any. And so I got the junk lot last night, and mazer is something that's super easy to miss the signature, because when these get wear on them, it's hard to read
'Cause
those
it's not-
sometimes. So when you get
Looks
them,
like it's surface stamped, like real thin.
What's the
Yeah,
difference
well, they're
between Mazer and Joe Maz?
one was Mazer Brothers and one was Joseph Mazer.
And not all of them are stamped, right?
The ones I list are, because I'm not smart enough to tell you the difference if they're not stamped. I can't stand behind it. I just don't know enough. But the ones that are stamped are always like so easily, when they get really old and worn, so when you get to feel a piece and you think, gosh, really feels like a mazer piece, sit there and tip them in the light and try to see if you can catch a letter. And maybe I'm the only one that has this happen, but if you feel like it is, it might be, and they wear off, is what I'm trying to say. So people always ask me, why did you pick up that junk lot? And that one was why I picked up that junk lot.
And that's
And
gotta
then
be the $50 brooch?
I have it at 129,
Wow. Okay.
only because I have people that'll buy every mazer piece. There's 2 customers that'll pick up all the mazer pieces that I list. So they'll probably offer me 99 if I had asked. It's not an amazing mazer piece, but I just like mazer pieces. The other one that I listed it today, was the one I told Lynn that and maybe I should have known this. This may be like everybody's going like, yeah, Carrie, why didn't you know this mark? Because it's possible that I was just like out to lunch, but let me pick it up here. Another one I need help figuring out what the hell the thing is, because I'm not sure. Came in the same junk lot. Not that I just go around buying junk lots. Oh, this came in the junk lot. That was the other. I thought, even if that's not what I think it is, it's a nice piece, and it was Weiss. And it came with one earring. So I included the earring, and I just put in the description that, hey, you could put it on a chain for a necklace. People do that all the time. Or it would be good for if they ever need to replace a stone. But it's really, really pretty. It was in that $10 junk lot too.
eBay junk lot?
Oh yeah. These, when you can find these, I've had them sold before. They sell within the first week you list them, and you almost always get your amount. And they look like nothing, and I do not buy Sarah Coventry on purpose, but that one I buy every time I find them. They are pretty rare. I don't find them all the time. I've only found 3 of them, but they sell really well. This one. So I knew I recognized this marking, but I could not. And it's just a sterling necklace. But I thought, gosh, I know that marking. And why don't I know that marking? Or why can't I figure it out? And it's Danecraft, and I had forgot. that that's what that is. So in case anybody needs to know that, you don't have to pain yourself like I did. That is one of the Danecraft really early markings.
All right, send that image to me so I can add it to the list,
Okay. Yeah,
please.
because I knew it, and then it was one of those I was like, what the heck is that? And I had to figure it out. So that's an early Danecraft.
Lynn, do you have that posted in the Facebook group, that list, or was that just whoever grabbed it that
No.
day?
No, I need to talk to Carrie about like seeing if I could get it on the Facebook file page or something where it's,
Yeah, for sure.
and I have a couple other ones too, a couple other documents like difference in beads and stuff like that.
I was looking for it the other day because I had copied it and I couldn't find it, so I was wondering if it was in the book in the Facebook group. Yep, thanks for that.
So I haven't listed this yet because so this was in the same junk lot, which it's a watch chain on a watch chain. And so I like those anyway. And so it made me more apt to buy that lot. But I have no idea what in the world. It's got a very strange opaqueness to it. Like it's different shade on each side. It's not super cold like a stone, but it's cooler than plastic. It's not plastic.
That's
But I don't
interesting. Is it,
know what it is.
it's not like amber or,
So if it was a
hang
different
on,
color,
what-
that would have been my first thought. Yes. I mean, it feels like it, but it's very odd. There's no bubbles. I don't see any bubbles.
You know what it looks like? It looks like snot.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Ew.
I kept thinking carnelian. There is something that's listed as carnelian Brazilian. It's translucent.
probably
It's
gives
that
the
same
best-
color.
That probably gives the best, like how it's all like murky looking and then darker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure.
What is that?
It's on a
Out
bill-
there.
What's that clasp called, you guys, with the bar? What is that called?
That's a watch chain.
Oh, that's what you would describe that as, a watch chain?
It is a watch chain.
Oh.
Like it is. It's for a watch.
Well,
It's
what
a
if
pocket
you have
watch.
a necklace? I have a necklace with that, or a bracelet or something with that. With that
People
long.
use those for that, but like this end is a watch fob chain.
Oh, not that. The with the bar. Yeah, the other side of it. Yeah.
So
That.
you might be thinking
Toggle?
a toggle clasp.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, toggle. That's fine.
Carrie, do you recall the seller for this lot?
Do you think I would tell you if I
I
did,
know,
Larry?
he tripping. He really tried to
She's
get it
a-
right now.
Wow,
Really
come on,
good.
Larry.
Try, Larry.
He shot his shot.
No shame. No
I had
shame.
to
His
try.
shot.
Want our credit card numbers too? So you could just put it on
I
our.
know, in front of all of us. He shot his shot, boy.
You're crazy.
I'm
Time to
telling you,
learn,
Carrie,
time to learn.
confidence. You're sparring confidence all over the place.
But so I think it's worth listing, but I just don't. I'm not sure what it is. It's old. I don't know. It's on a nice chain. Either way, I could scrap the chain out, I guess. But and then I'm like, why the hell would you put that on a watch fob?
How would
And
you
it's
describe
like-
that chain since it's all like messed up like that? It's like peeled or whatever. I don't know what your guys' terminology is for it.
I
But
sell old watch
Little
fob
snot,
chains like that.
Old.
you just say old. You just say vintage. You don't even go into
Oh,
it. You just
yeah.
let it speak for itself.
Antique.
Yeah.
I mean, that watch, it's definitely an old watch fob chain. I mean,
yeah, because yeah. Okay.
it's just old, but I'll still list this. Like if this was just like a cheap necklace
Mm-hmm.
worn like that, I wouldn't list.
Mm.
But those old watch fob chains, people like them.
Okay.
I
So
just don't know.
rock identifiers calling it aventurine, which
It's not cold. It's not
That
cold
app
enough.
has literally never, ever been right for me.
I think it has its moments. Sometimes
not too
it's good.
bad.
It's not
about
cold enough to be
Presidium?
stone. Yeah,
It-
I do.
What is
It
it?
keeps making me think of amber, but
That's what so like the temperature wise, it feels like that. It's not cold enough to be stone. Like stone, like agate or anything like that.
What did the Presidium test it as, or you haven't tested it on there yet?
I've never used mine. It's in the box. I've had it for 2 years because you know what? I don't know enough about gems to make good calls on it. I think I would use it to say yes glass, no glass. That's what I think I would use my Presidium for. Brand new in the box. I probably won't ever get it out, but I go by touch, feel, and senses more than, but I think I would use it for glass. I probably would. And I probably sell some amethyst sometimes that I call the purple stone. But I always price optimistically if I think maybe it is an amethyst, because somebody that knows what they're looking at would be able to tell. So I price it like it is, and then I come down if it's not. I'm bad about the commitment part, guys. I'm bad about committing to like, yeah, that's a whatever, unless I'm sure. What is the C marking in jewelry? I thought it was Coventry. No. Charming Charlie.
Oh,
That's the C.
I have a
That's Coventry.
cameo that I want you to look at. I haven't. Can I share?
While you're
Yes.
Okay.
sharing, let me ask a quick question. When you guys are taking the pictures, there's really hardly no way of turning that you're trying to show that you're flipping it over. Do you flip stuff over and take pictures? Like of the
Oh, yeah.
necklace? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
you have
looking.
to.
How can they tell that you flipped it?
Mm.
Unless it's obvious. I'm talking about the beads.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, not obvious necklaces.
If anything, just move it, put it like more horizontal or diagonal, so they got a heads up. Maybe it's just a different picture, at least, or you know.
Yeah, okay, I'm just
That's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I like
not
that one.
gold. It's not gold. It didn't test for gold. What
It's all right.
what would you list this for?
I think it's nicer. Is it shell? I'm assuming it's shell. Kind of looks like shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$49.99.
Yep. That's about what I
Filigree
would
makes
say.
it very nice.
Yeah.
It does. I
Bonus
would definitely
hair.
use that word in the title.
What?
Filigree.
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 Mhm.
Okay. Cool. He's a dude.
Hopefully, so it's unique.
Cool dude. Cameo.
Oh, it's a dude. Okay, well then.
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's not?
back to ugly. Ugly. So it's
With the tendrils going down the front.
And a lower
Just a-
top, no, that's a woman.
A big
That's a
girl.
woman. Yeah.
Whoops, my
Big-
bad.
big mama.
Gender neutral. Okay. Thank you.
Unisex.
see, but it could be a man, like it could be like a Grecian, you know, like the Taga thing, or what do you call that word?
Are you ready for Juliana?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. Oh, wow. That's a pretty one. That's a nice Easter egg set.
Wow. Easter egg one.
I
Cool.
mean, it was, and let me just tell you the story of this. She lives in northern Palm Beach County, and she sells at the store. Can you see it all? Anyway, she said she
Gorgeous.
bought this piece by piece. She didn't buy it all from one seller, and she wouldn't not list it. She has a site online too, but she said she wasn't going to sell it until she found all the pieces. And sure enough, I can't believe she'd be lucky enough to find all the pieces. But it's a beautiful set, and she had one more. Let's see. One more. I thought I could just click on. Right there it is.
What did she want for it? 2,000?
I think 2,500.
Hmm.
Now
I
these
seen
are
a set for 15, so that's not out of the realm. But
you know what?
'cause
I'm
mine
sorry.
was
She said 2,000. It was for 2,500 on eBay. She would just sell it cheaper off eBay, at the site. So anyway, these are Juliana as well, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I think this is the setup here. I didn't get a good angle. I just took them quickly, but I just wasn't interested because these are all like bib type of necklaces, and I wear more like this. And then the earrings, I have tons of blue Juliana and Weiss that I love. When I say tons, I have more than I have to decide between them when I get ready to wear them. So there wasn't anything there in I didn't buy any Juliana this time, which really surprised me. Normally I'll find something I liked. I saw a couple of haggler pieces that I liked, but nothing really enough for me to say, yeah, that's great. I didn't see any verba, and I mean, I looked everywhere. So anyway, it was a good show. A lot of stuff. I was more interested in like everyday jewelry. I think I got. I'll put some on as we have our every day and let you see some of the necklaces that are different, some of the earrings.
I want to see you wearing the Juliana.
Yeah, you what?
I want to see you wearing the Juliana jewelry.
Oh, okay. I'll wear some. I mean, I dearly love it, so I'll wear it.
That's fabulous.
Nope, that's what I was looking at too, Lynn.
That's
Good call.
Oh,
pretty.
sorry.
No, that's good.
Nice amber.
Yep.
It is. Yep, it's amber.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
No, Mimi put that in.
Oh, Mimi,
Yeah.
what a set.
That is a nice set.
I see the pricing is everywhere.
So what is
And
that pile there?
Yeah.
Is that it wadded up?
I was trying to take a picture of it to show how it glows. So it's
No,
the
that's totally
necklace,
fine.
it's kind of balled up.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, it's just the necklace.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
pretty.
Yep, nice piece. Very nice piece.
So I was watching what's her name? Texas Gal Treasure. I think like maybe last week she found a few amber pieces, and I don't know. I seen some people selling for 30 and some for a few hundred. So
Well, it depends on what, yeah. So like cut, quality, and what kind of amber it is like
okay.
the amber is not all created equal type of thing.
Okay.
Lynn's probably a better resource than me. I'm not.
No,
the
I
amber
could never
expert.
figure it out. I
That's how
absolutely
we know
cannot
it's like
figure out.
reconstituted or whatever, whatever, like in that group jewelry chat.
Baltic and butter, yeah.
This one sold for 30.
I think the ones with the bugs in them sell for more.
Yeah, exactly. But I've
So
never
that-
found one with a bug.
So yours is more like that in the fact that so when it's beaded or chunks versus when you can get a huge when they have the bigger pieces that are all one piece that stayed together and old. So I mean, like if that was mine, I'd probably price it at 49 or 59 and hope for and take an offer. What about you, Lynn?
Did you say 49? I was kind of focused. Would 49?
Yeah, I would say 49 or 59 and take an offer.
Yeah, that's about what I would do. This one has one bid and it's 40. Well, that looks a lot like yours. It's got that same clasp on it. Or yeah,
I
it's
just need to do an
sold for
auction, but there's
40.
so many auctions with only one bid on him, so never mind.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep,
wouldn't
that's what I
put
would
it
do.
on auction. Amber takes
Mm-mm.
forever to sell.
Yes, it does.
I have several pieces too that I just take a wild guess on. I try to price it higher.
See, like
and
that
then,
one's the old
slowly
Baltic.
down.
That one that went 113, that's old Baltic. That's why that went high.
Okay.
Yeah, they get darker as they
Mhm.
age. This one went
Yep.
for 48. It's darker. Yours is kind of middle of the road like this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would think 49 would be appropriate. Even this one only went for 30.
That one's a little darker. Yeah, you could definitely tell, like, sometimes you'll find a big chunky one that's super dark, and like those will go really good.
Okay.
But then this one only went for 15.
But it
more
was
of a
on auction,
nugget.
and auctions are weird, yeah. I think yours is probably 39.
She's
Alright.
got $10 delivery on it, so
She's in the Ukraine.
yeah, but-
Mm.
Got to get it over
Thank
there.
you.
all right, I'm gonna
I
stop
have-
the recording.